Zoom in a bit. Good evening, everybody. How are you? Are you well? Are you good? Happy New Year! And all that jazz. Oh, right, okay. Let me just turn on my sounds off my phone and then try and find just so I can see any comments. Right, there we go. And I've made it quiet. Yeah, Happy New Year. Are we all good? Are we all fabulous? Are we all amazing? So, for those of you, anybody that's new, welcome to Try It Out Tuesday. I was hoping to have a bit more of my desk clear, but I have been actually doing prep. So, I can't do it all, you know what I mean? I can't have a clear desk and do prep. I mean, let's get real. So I hope we're all alright. Hi, Sue, Kim, Sonia, Dawn, Joe. Right. I'm just doing a little share about. Share to a group. Wrong one, wrong. Be crafty. Yay. Right. So, the white journal was completed. I finished it. Okay, the only thing that is yet to be completed is the inside of the front cover. However, that's just going to be notes about what's in it. And I have actually finished the cover. Painted with Dilutions paints. And I made some like collage paper using the stamps as well. I even did a little spine for it. Which I'm really pleased with. So yeah. So in case you haven't seen, in fairness, I haven't put it on. That was the last page I did to complete it. And I actually didn't realise until I did the cover that I've done the same sort of flag. But I actually don't mind. That's absolutely fine. Because when you look through, obviously it's going to be at the back. So, but I'm really chuffed with it. As daft as it sounds, I'm really chuffed with that bit down the spine. I absolutely love it. It's really good. But I'm really happy with it, and I will do sort of like a walkthrough. I just want to do something on here to say like that I've used the La Lunas on every page and that sort of thing. And then, you know. And I think it works. I have to be honest. I think this has really worked for me, having those La Lunas to come back to and say, yeah, they're going on every page or whatever. I think that has given me sort of like a direction. Because if nothing else, if I don't know where else to start, I can pick up those stamps. I could pick up those stamps, and know where I was going. Yeah, see, this is all, I've matte mediumed it all as well, so it shouldn't really damage or anything. But yeah, it's my first journal that I've ever finished, like, completely done. Anyway, on to the next. So, I am now working in my 6x6 craft. Now, this isn't going to be every week doing a 6x6 craft. It's because today I have decided for tonight's project, I really need to change my white sheet, don't I, here. For tonight's project, I was going to use Journaling Girls. So, did you see Caroline's fab first blog post today using the Journaling Girls? She used Sam. And it's absolutely beautiful. And I thought, well, in fairness, I'm just going to run with that. And I'm going to do some Journaling Girls, but I'm going to use Bev for obvious reasons. I like her. She's fab and she has funky boots. Okay. Oh, did I see someone say it was snowing? Sorry, I'm just trying to get that to focus again. Did I see someone say it was snowing? We haven't got any snow. It's cold enough to snow. I have to say, now Sammy's here, I'm going to tell you, right? Sam is always horrified, mystified, and slightly angry when anyone says it's too cold to snow. Because she's like, how can it be too so cold to snow? It snows in Siberia all the time. And that can be like -35. So, how can it be too cold to snow? She's not wrong. She's not wrong. You had a bat in the class this morning. Oh, fantastic. I love bats. They're ace. Right. Sorry, I do have a bottle of squash with me. Sorry, I've been really thirsty all day. Cannot shake it at all. So I'm currently carrying a bottle of squash with me wherever I go. Which I suppose technically we should all be doing anyway. Ranty McRanter, she does rant. But I rant as well. And funnily enough, when I rant, everybody finds it colossally amusing. I do not. But you know, there we are. Right, so what I'm going to do tonight is, this is going to be a page that's going to go in my journal, but that's not what we're going to work on. Okay? This only has one double layout in it at the minute, and it's this one, and I'm really sure I did it on a live, which I will try and find a link to. I absolutely love it. It was done with the pearly paints, I think, when we first got them. Spangly. Right, because what I want to do is I want to create a panel. Okay, and show you that basically these panels are transferable between turning it into a card or turning it into a layout for your journal, stuff like that. I'm just going to grab a blending mat because I really, really need to change this sheet. And then we're going to cut ourselves a piece of, oh, do you know what? I've got some, I'm still working down my stacks because it's easy access of my Dolly Dimples media card, mixed media card here. So what I'm going to do, what do you mean this one? What have I said? I've no idea. Anyway, and we're going to, I'm just going to cut this at 5 3/4. I might even cut it just below that. I'm not good. No, we're going to take it down an extra couple of notches actually. Right. So, and then we're going to go to town on the journaling girls. By the way, Sam and I are in the midst of putting together the Be Crafty plan for the second half, yeah, I know, of 2022. So if there is anything specific that you guys wanted to see that you think we may not have heard you say the first time or something like that, you give us a shout. Okay? Right. So yeah, so what I've done is I've got, hello Jane. I did notice today in a live by Louise Sims that when Jane came on and she went, oh, hello Janie. And I thought, do you know what? I'm not sure we should have started that. It was Sam and I started calling Jane Janie ages last year, I think, and whatever, and it just seems to have gained traction, and we never really checked with her if it was okay. So but it's said with love and affection. So you know, basically what I'm saying is you got to lump it. Right. So I've got hello, Fiona. Congratulations on your win. Right. So, yeah, Fiona, she's a good advert for the challenge in the Be Crafty Stamps group. Because Fiona won the December one. So, she has got her pick of £20 worth of Be Crafty Stamps. So, that's quite good. So, we're going to be using the Bev, Journaling Girl Bev, the Journaling Girl Arrows and Borders #1 that were designed by Sam. Okay, that work so well, not only with the Journaling Girls, but with so much stuff. They work, for example, really well with all the doodle art range. I feel like you can mix and match quite a lot. But I also do like to use them with more of the collage art style, like the dragonfly art as well, because I think they just give some density and stuff, almost as if you were adding in your own freehand drawings over the top, even if you're not particularly confident at doing that. I think these give you the scope to do that, which is really good. So what I've been doing today, excuse me, the last part of today, because I have to say, it was email-a-palooza this morning. So if there was something very urgent that you wanted to email me about, do you know what? I'd suggest you go again and go at the top of the list if I haven't got back to you, just in case. So I have been stamping and cutting out some of the elements from my Bev set. There is some that I didn't quite get to the cutting out, and I've already pushed them to the side somewhere, so I don't know where they went. But this is where I got to. So I've cut out five of the hearts, and I've sort of decorated and doodled inside these with my white Posca pen. Okay, and then I was going to do some arrows, but I'd started to realise there was no other time for that. I probably should have done the heart border, shouldn't I? Anyway, and I've gone with sort of like this lovely vine, and I've coloured these two different ways. They look similar colours, but it's just to tell you, and I've done sort of the pennant bunting as well, because I wanted to keep it quite colourful, not necessarily leaning towards one colourway, which I've been doing quite a lot recently. It's sort of like one colour system per thing, but this I sort of wanted to go a bit more full out, you know, bright colours and what have you. So Bev here, she's still got to be coloured in, and I've still got to trim inside because I've got to be honest, I gave up to go and have my tea, and we ended up starting to watch the Harry Potter reunion thing, and I lost track of time. I can come up with a better excuse if you like, but that's the one that's true. So you have to decide. Now, the card I chose to stamp these on, I have cut out those borders. It didn't take that long. It honestly didn't. But it's just a wiggle. In fairness, in those ones, I have to say, I leave a white line, it makes it even easier. In those ones, that's why the dies do a white line, because I like it. In those ones, I like super easy, because it's just a wiggly line. Right? So yeah, they're really cool. So first of all, what we're going to do is we're going to take Bev and we're going to finish cutting her out. Colouring her in and cutting her out. Now, what I'm going to use, this is going to surprise you here, to colour her in, because the quality of card I've used, shall we say, is not sublime. I'm not that happy with it. Which means it's quite absorbent, which means it is absolutely useless in terms of eco lines. They just will not travel or anything like that. So what I have been using is my Inktense, following on from the using it last week, but also I have also been using on it, with varying degrees of success, my Crayola Super Tips. Now, my Crayola Super Tips were originally gifted for me for doing my bullet journaling, because there's loads of colours, and they're just, you know, they're cheap and cheerful and fun. I mean, don't get me wrong, you do not get the colouring you get with, obviously, your eco lines and stuff like that. But if I have stamped on some questionable cardstock, and we've all got questionable cardstock that we bought because it was cheap, and then we realised that it was cheap for a reason, and so on and so forth. So if you don't mind just doing block colour, Crayola Super Tips are fine for that. So, you know, I want to make sure that we're making sure Be Crafty stamps look like, you know, that you guys know you can use them with whatever you've got. What if you aren't able to stretch to eco lines just yet? What if, you know, but you know, some alright felt tips you might be okay with. And this is what we want. The stamping is the thing that gives you your outline. You can then play with different colourings. You really can. Now, we have lots of colourings we like to do. We like to paint with our Distress Ink paints, all this sort of thing. But I don't want anyone to ever think that we are in any way above a good felt tip pen. No, no, no. Right. So, here we go. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to go in with this pink one around here. I have I have stamped Investifying Claire, so I don't get too much or any running, and heat set it as well. So there is that, which is wicked. And then we're just going to go. As you can see, I'm already getting some pilling on this card. Absolutely shocking. But what we want to show is that the stamps will help you through that, because they've given you these lines We've given you this little bit. Now, like most Crayolas, okay, these are washable, and what that means is you can sometimes get a little bit of movement with your water. Like I said, this card is already pilling. I don't want to do too much, but you can just create a little bit. Just to go over them. But you could go over with a lighter colour too. So you've got those options, okay? But like I said, I don't want anything, oh well, I can't start stamping because I don't have all the colouring things to go with it. You know, it's a case of building up as you go. Seeing what you can get hold of. Okay? Not to mention the fact, if you're starting out with something, you know, and you're thinking, right, I've now got to go and get every colour of distress ink or whatever, that can be hard and it can be quite intimidating. So, you know, get one or two and then use your pens and then gather a bit more. And that's what we like. It's all about sort of just using those things. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to get some frayed burlap. Okay, I'm going to put that on here because this is the colour we're going to use for our boots. I'm just going to go in with a paintbrush. We're going to use our ink pad just to colour in our boots. And I used Inktense for the shaded areas of the shorts. Okay? So there's lots. Alison, you got a happy post today. Fantastic. But you can see this card is just not enjoying this water that much. But it does give you a slightly different texture, which can be. I just think it's going to make stamping our face, colouring in our face quite difficult. But what I am going to do is I am going to get here my illustrator set. No, it's not my illustrator set I'm looking for. It is. There we go. Some pastels, and it's this colour here. It's the sepia light. I like to mix it with some of the pastel red or the apricot. Okay, and in exactly the same way, I'm going to go onto my blending mat with my sepia light and my apricot. Okay, I'm going to put these together. Give us that skin tone. And this is the cool thing with your different colourings, you can have a play with skin tones. You can really make the journaling girls who you want them to be, which is excellent. You can add in doodles, you can paper piece the clothing, you can just really add in what you want. So on this girl alone, I've used Crayola Super Tips, I've used Inktense, I've used Distress, I've used Eco Lines, and that's not for any minute to tell you that you have to have all these things to colour in these stamps. You absolutely don't. What I'm trying to show you is whatever medium is your favourite at the moment, or whatever colouring you feel most comfortable with using, you can use that to colour in your stamps. Okay? I am going to very quickly, because I know for a fact this cardstock would in no way take, for example, me colouring in with my Eco Lines and then trying to draw out the colour. It's just too absorbent and it's not going to work. So I'm just going to take a little bit of this lilac here, just try and blend these edges slightly on the Crayola because they just didn't go as well as I'd like. Ah, that's much better. Much better. Okay. And the thing is as well, all of your ink mediums, all of your water-based, you can just use on your blending mat and then wipe off any excess or pick it up with some excess cardstock. Okay, so from here, we're going to stamp some eyes on, I think, and we'll do a little wink. So I have got my Slim here. This is the original, the very, very original Be Crafty acrylic block. It's the 5mm Slim. Sorry, I'm just going to have to... Sorry if my head comes in, I'm really, really sorry. Probably should have heat set her first. But I think it's alright. I'm just going to... Absolutely, Ali, and I love the eco lines. I love intense pencils, though. I think there are so many mediums out there right now that give us so much scope and options, which is fantastic. Right. So, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go inside her arm. Now, you don't need to do this. I think she would be fine with the arm left out, you know, with that solid bit in it. But I'm just going to chip that out. Just give it a little gap. Oh, that needed a bit more drying, it's a bit too wet. That's okay. You'll see I cut with a knife, the same way I cut with scissors. Turning the item, not myself, inside out. Well, that's a lot neater than the other side, isn't it? I'll have to go back to that in a minute. Do the same here. Now, I have to be quite careful here because she has such skinny legs, because obviously she was modelled on me, so she's going to have skinny legs. Abigail, did you just laugh? She did, I'm telling you. There was somewhat of a snigger from the teenager in the next room. I don't know what she means. I'm just going to go in for the back because you can see I didn't quite make it through. And there we have it. So I'm just going to tidy up these few edges better. I'll tell you. God, that's an antique, that knife. It is. Still cutting as well. This is a lasso knife from a very long ago technique of things. Okay, so now we have our journaling girl and some of our accessories cut out and all this sort of thing. And this is something I absolutely love to do. I love to cut out the journaling girls with their accessories. If you haven't seen it before, for example, here are some of my winter girls cut out with their accessories, ready to go at any point. Now I have to say, I love making these prep boards, but unless I end up with an endless supply of them, I'm going to start storing in envelopes unless I want them for telly with a sticky on, because otherwise I'm just going to need to have hundreds of them all stacked up, which I have to say is an absolutely lovely idea. But, you know, my craft room in terms of size resembles Harry Potter's bedroom. So, you know. I remember I put in, I think I talked about this on a live once. I'm just going to get the piece of card we cut to size, and we're going to start getting some templates and making up a background. I remember I once made the mistake of going on Pinterest and typing in small craft rooms. I'll tell you something, on that day I did learn that small craft room in the US means something very different. Very different. Okay. So, what we're going to do is we're going to go on with some base colour. Are there any colours in particular anybody would like me to use, or should we just crack on? Alrighty. Wow. But did everyone have a nice festive period. I hope if you wanted a break, you got one. I think this has to almost go a bit rainbow because of the... Saying that, I don't want it to be too rainbow. Yellow and blue. Yellow and blue. Didn't I do yellow and blue recently? I feel like I did that recently, Ali. I'm not sure though. Probably not the best one to be asking. But yeah, we do need a yellow. Where is my mustard seed? Do, 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 do. Oh, I don't know, but there's my fossilised amber. Beautiful. Really relaxing and lots of crafty time. Well, surely that's got to be a win then. Where is it? I tell you what I did buy and I've already lost. I bought myself some new blending brushes because Ali was like tempting me. Alison was tempting me and saying she's got all her blending brushes. Abs, have you seen my tub with my new blending brushes in it?
No, I've just got a tub with all the pens.
Well, that's disappointing.
I found two of your Crayola super tips. Great.
I had and I brought brand new brushes.
Here are three Crayola super tips.
Where did they go? Oh well, it's back to blending tools is fine. I like a blending tool. That's just a bit bizarre. So, right, so this is my Inkables big one, and this is not obviously not big enough to go over this nearly 6x6 because it's a long, tall one, which is really good for your taller albums. So what I'm going to do, I did send you a picture of them. So what have I done with them? Who knows? What I'm going to do is I'm going to put it somewhat in the middle. You could take this down if you wanted to with a washi tape or something like that. But I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to work my way down. I'm just going to work out the order that I want to do these in. There we go. So I think we're going to do a little bit of pink at the top. I have twisted it slightly, but I'm just going to have to roll with it now. So that's fine. And from there, I'm going to do some fossilised amber. I'll work that into that sponge a little bit better, actually. Fossilised amber, here we go. And then work our way down, and we're going to do some cracked pistachio. Oh, that's going to be beautiful. They were in a white basket pot, but I can't see the white basket pot. Oh, I've put them in a tub, I've just seen them. Okay, it's cracked pistachio. And then I think we'll do a little prize ribbon. But I'm not going to overcook the prize ribbon, because we're going to get our villainous potion on the bottom. And then when we lift off, we have got a super groovy rainbow. Okay, so your Inkables big ones, they were on like a pick and mix on the craft store or Hoshando at the time, but on our website you can buy them individually, so you can pick and choose which ones you want. And as you can see, the abstract circles is a really good one. It's great if you're doing seaside themes or anything like that, but it's a really funky one to do a sort of rainbow too, because you get that sort of, I don't know, wickedness with it. Right, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go around with my villainous potion. Okay, and we're going to create, you know what, we're not going to go around with villainous potion, we're going to just go down that corner with villainous potion, because that's where it is. And then we're going to work our way back a little bit with some cracked pistachio. But I only think I'm going to need a new tool. Down there. Now cracked pistachio up here. So we're sort of carrying on that lighter blend. So in fact I'm going to flip that over so I'm not accidentally picking up any villainous potion as well. And then I'm going to do a touch of fossilised amber, bringing it in from the edge. And then we'll go back to our picked raspberry. For that top corner. Okay, and then you've got a complete blend. Now the soft blend around the edge, the haze, obviously not so much last year or the year before. When I used to demo at craft shows and stuff, which I love because you really get that interaction and whatever. This is the thing I am asked to demo the absolute most every single time. Is can you demo the blend around the edge? And I have to say, yes, I do it at speed. I do. But that's just a practice thing. Because of the amount of times I've been asked to do it. So this is the triangles. This is a really good one. Went through a phase not so long ago, but I can't remember exactly when, where I really wanted to start using 2 different patterns on each Inkable, because I was using, for example, longer ones for art journaling. Now obviously we do the big ones now, which enables you to incorporate those bigger patterns, but I still find them really useful to do in sections, which are really good. So watch the space for example, things that are a bit longer than a Dinkable for a pattern. That's all I'm saying. Watch this spatial. That's all. Right. Now, from here, we can actually start putting together how we want. Now, this has actually gone a very different direction to what I was planning. But don't these things just do that to us? They really, really do. And how we're going to assemble Bev on here. Now, I think what I want to do is effectively, now I'm fully aware how busy this is. I absolutely love it though, to be honest. We're going to create these, but I might swap these around and put that across there. Where's she gone? She's there. Alright, and then put Bev on the top. Then with some of the hearts going. Is that too much? You need to tell me if you think it's too much. Because I think that is just bright and fun and awesome. In fact, do you know what? It's going that way anyway. So, for speed, what I'm going to do is we're going to start, I think, with the bunting pennants. Okay, I think that is the wise place to start. I also wanted to show, because I was chatting to different peeps over the Christmas break. I mean, to be fair, I haven't missed a Tuesday and Jane hasn't missed a Thursday, so, you know, in terms of a break for you guys, we've been here all through. But I've been talking to various crafters through, and they did say, you used to do so much with distressing and stuff in terms of card. Do you still do that? So I said, yes, I do. I said, I just love working in my journal. So what I wanted to do was show you how I basically incorporate the same techniques for both things. And this is going to show you basically how, because even when I used to primarily demo cards on a Tuesday, most of you will remember, if you were here, that I never worked directly on a card. I always made a panel. And whilst my art journaling has freed me up to work directly on a surface, if I want to do this, I can still make a panel and then put it into my journal. Okay, it's just a different way. It's not right. So I'm just gonna take this little dude here. Okay, and we're gonna put this Right across. There. Straightish. That'll do. Okay. And then we're going to do this set of leaves going this way. And Sally, don't worry, my lovely. Have you been karate chopping people? Or teaching them how to do karate chopping? Okay. And then this little row. I have not put any colour in the centre of these. You know, I wasn't sure if I wanted to, and I thought if I don't put it in, I can add it. If I had, I wouldn't have wanted it, so I wanted to. I was hedging my bets, basically. Okay, so we're going to put these there. Okay, so that's given us our background. And you can see, this is where your white edges actually really helps, because if this was cut out edge to edge, okay, on that background, you just wouldn't see it. It would be lost. And it's not. It is quite funky. Ace. Right. Okay, then we're going to take some 3D foam for Bev. It's all right, darlings. Honestly, you don't have to apologise for being late. And this is the whole point. The videos stay. You can catch up later. I get so many notifications the next day from people watching. It's really okay. Great tip. No worries, Ali. But because I do get a lot of people say, why do you cut the dies so they leave a white edge? Why do you... Because in all honesty, that's how we like it. Because it means you can, if you do a really super busy background, you can still put stuff on top, basically. And you know me, I loves me a busy background. So, Bev's going to go on top of there. And then we're going to find a place for these hearts. We are going to need a bit of a Posca highlight, I do think, though. We need a little bit of a Posca faux stitch around the edge. We're not getting away without one of them. I can't lie. Right, so let's get some pieces of foam here, because I'm also going to 3D foam the hearts. Here we go. Look, we're all the late going on. Yeah, Rosie, are you back at school yet? Mine aren't back at school yet. Casey's back tomorrow. But I still get to keep the big one. And whilst I know the best place for him is school, blah, 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 I was a little bit hoping for remote learning, because I love it. I absolutely love it. Having the girls at school, home. It's like my favourite. Mr. Mark Green, seriously, dude, get a hobby. May I suggest crafting? It's wonderful. Okay, so we're going to go this one here. Oh, honestly though, I will admit, you're saying you don't know what day it is. I think the only reason I've been able to keep track... Well, Sam was late, wasn't she, last Thursday? Because she'd completely lost track of the fact it was last Tuesday. See, there's me going. I think the only thing that has kept me going is the lives and thing, knowing that I've got the lives to do and knowing who's on what day. And like, for example, Jane helps when she does it, this is what's coming up tonight. That's very helpful. I didn't get around to that today. Like I say, it's been email palooza today. You love my girls being at home. Yeah, I know it says. But you know, I do fully understand they're the best place for them. School, blah, 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 blah. I'm not disagreeing that's probably the best place for them. I'm just saying, for me, the best place is at home. And bear in mind, we do the work. It's not because I'm trying to avoid doing the work. So we can go on days out or anything. We do the work. And I'm very lucky. My girls are very self-motivated. They're very, very, very good. Right, so on your Bev and Sam. Your Bev and Sam are slightly different to the other journaling girls in that they do come with a little sentiment in them in the same font as the small words, and that's the small words, the small winter words, and whatever. It's the same font. So, and that's because I'll tell you why then. I will tell you why. So Sam and Bev did not come with a word set like the Winter Journaling Girls and the original Journaling Girls, because Sam brought me two. She was supposed to get me an accessory set and she brought me two and I couldn't decide which one because they were both really, really good, right? So basically I had to put some words on with the Journaling Girls because I couldn't pick, so both of these had to get made. So it's my indecisiveness again. It's not like that's never happened before though, is it? Right, so then I'm going to clip the BU, and that's going to go at the top there. Right, and this is where your options start to come out. What time is it? How are we doing for time? Not too shabby. Right, so we've got the BU. And with the Journaling Girl Bev, that's sort of the only option I have, because she is me. Right, obviously, look at that cinch waistline. Look at those slender legs. Who else is it going to be? Right, so we're just going to go on, do a wee faux stitch around the edge, because I think it goes with the style of the stamps really well, and it just sort of gives us a little border to be going with. I mean, you could add some accents to the abstract circles if you wanted, but she is most cool. Right, and then up here. What I really like though is how we've put those lines in has just sort of framed those abstract circles. So that's another good example of, with your Inkables big ones, if you are using them on a wider project, and it's not just sort of like as an accent in the corner of your art journal, which is obviously what I use a lot of them for. What I love about the big ones is you can pick whichever section looks the best for your project. You can sort of frame them with the different things. So, but I'm loving the brightness of it. I think it's something we all need. Saying that, I'll tell you what, it's absolutely freezing outside. Like really cold. But I did say to the girls, it was so lovely to see the stars. I can't remember the last time I saw them because it feels like it's been overcast forever. And tonight when we got back from the farm, we could see the stars and it was lovely. Crafty Rosie, do you take car payments over the phone for orders? Yeah, we do, honey. Now, all I will say, the distress inks, that they do sort of go in and out as the sort of like a rolling order, so you just have to take your chances with those ones, my duck. But absolutely. Now, I will say, Sam and I are generally in the unit at of a morning and whatever. But what you can do is send us your number. Tell us when it is you want to order, and then we will call you. We're quite happy to do that, because that way you know you'll get us and what have you. So if you do prefer that, we're quite happy to do that for you as well. Right, now, so with this little card we've got here, what you can do, so we've got this card panel. And this is where your options start coming out. I'm just going to I grabbed some scallop cards. This is what I intended to make all my Christmas cards out of. That didn't happen. But me and Alison, because she doesn't believe I will, because she didn't either, I said I'm going to make one Christmas card a week this year. And Alison said, she says, oh, well, I say that every year. And I said, yeah, but now I've said it on here, I've got to do it. So now I am going to do it. And Alison's going to do it too. She doesn't know this yet, but she is. Right, so you can take... Do you know if my orders were sent out to you? Yes, the book's clear today. So it's definitely on the way. Right, so what you can do is you can take your panel. And there you have. Look, it's a beautiful card. Look at that. Right? So you can do that. And that is a cool card. Or... it can go in your art journal. And you have an art journal page. Okay? So I would... like I say, I have been doing more direct to surface, obviously, in art journals. But the way I craft doesn't exclusively lend itself to either way. Okay? You can take, you can take an art journal page you've seen me make on here. Let's go to the... and go, do you know what? I'm going to do that again, but I'm going to make it as a card front. Okay? Or, I really... let's have another look. What we've got. That. I mean, that would make a beautiful card front. Alright? So, it's not... oh, Dominique, I definitely remember picking. It's not a mutually exclusive. You can use these to go either way. You can turn it into a card. You can put it on a journal page. Okay? So you can see using them for both. Not only... it means you can go through all of our videos, all of our tutorials. Okay? And say, right, do you know what? I'm going to recreate that in blues and greens for a card. Right? Or I'm going to do that in a journal page. You can really mix and match it, and that's the cool thing. So basically what I wanted, as much as anything to show tonight, if you are just starting out, and I mean just starting out with stamps, just starting out, use whatever it is you've got to colour it. Use what, because the stamps will last you. They will keep working when you get in new colourings or new things to play with. And you'll be able to keep playing with the stamps because you'll still have them. This is why I love stamps. It's why I've always loved stamps in templates and stuff. Because you can use them, get it right or wrong, and then still use them again. Because they're there. I mean, that's not even getting into heat embossing or anything like that. It's just really sort of having fun. Yeah, thanks. More stamps next month, journaling paints this month. Exactly, we totally get it. We can't have everything we want all at the same time. Trust me. Our website will look very different. Well, not very different. It would just have a lot more stuff on it if me and Sam had no boundaries when ordering things. Can you imagine me and Sam with no boundaries for a Ranger order? Me and Sam with no boundaries with whatever it is we've drawn turned into stamps. Could be dangerous, actually. So it's just not possible. But here we are. So yeah, that's just what I wanted to show you. I've gone into it. I'm not a big resolution person. In fairness, I think New Year's usually rubbish. But I am sort of trying to go into this with a positive, and not necessarily walking around with it like it's a complete ray of sunshine, because that's not me or real. What it is to, right, how can we turn this? How can we go into this differently? So say all you've got at home is felt tips. Okay. And you're on a limited budget. Okay. Pick out a stamp you really like, because the cool thing is all the stamps on Be Crafty are free P&P. So even if you're going into the end of line or something like that, if it's stamps, it's still free P&P. Go in there and say, right, I'm going to pick myself out some bits and have a play. and have a play with the colourings you have and see if you really enjoy it and go from there. And then you can use these techniques, you know, in a journal, on a card, and it will work either way, whichever way you need it to. But that is going in there because I really, really like it on the craft. Yes, and sorry, I did see earlier, Sally, a Christmas, yeah, I think we sort of need a Christmas 2022, while people aren't, you know, because if we bring it up in 2 weeks, they're going to be furious. Whereas if we put Christmas 2022 now, and then we have to put cards in it. Okay, so I really hope that's been helpful. Sam has put the links on to a lot of the products I've used. I have seen her do that. But if you do get stuck or there's anything you can't find, do let me know. So I stick that in while we're waiting. I am, well, we think it's me, because Abs has got an appointment. I've got to find out if Sam can take her. And I meant Sam's actually allowed to by the person she has the appointment with, not Sam will take her. Take her tomorrow. So yeah, it should be me, but it'll be either me or Sam at 2 p.m. in Crafting Together with All Brands, or Crafting Together with Everybody Loves Each Other, as Sam would say. And then Janie is back on Thursday with something absolutely fantabulous, I'm sure. And then Friday's chit chat with Sam. But what I also want you to do, is check out the blog, okay? We have a bigger DT now, and they are all fantastic. And they are creating these wonderful step-by-step tutorials. The thing is, when you're watching me like this, it's not always easy to follow along. Because, as well, I dive all over the place and whatever. But on the blog, what the creative team, the Be Crafty creative team have done is they've done step-by-step with photos of how they've made each project. And again, you can adapt these with whatever Be Crafty stamps you have. So, for example, today, Caroline has made a project using Sam. But if you've only got Sassy from one of the other ones or one of the winter ones, you can adapt that, which is really, really good. Sally has done some bullet journaling because she keeps track of the birds in her garden. Also, whilst I'm mentioning that, if you put for example, Bujo templates into the search on the blog, in the browser, it's on the top left hand corner, you also get a couple of really fantastic layouts from Annie. So you can see those as well. The creative team works so hard to do these photo step-by-steps, and they're so easy to follow, and they're always there for you to refer to. And if there's something you're specifically looking for, has a design team or a creative team member use this, you can always ask in the group, which I advise you to do, or you can search in the bar as well, in the search bar, but that's generally only in the browser. Okay? Must look more at your blog. Yes, you must, Tracy. It's fantabulous. Very much is. Alright then, guys. Thank you so much for joining me on a lovely Try It Out Tuesday where we can see the stars. And hopefully I'll be able to catch up with you tomorrow in Crafting Together with All Brands. But if not, don't worry, because it will be on the YouTube channel soon. Alright then, guys. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.